Hey everybody, Brian here from Centro, and first of all, thank you for watching this demo jam. So I want to tell a little story. I was running engineering at Conga a couple years ago, and one of the frustrating things that would happen was my team would be constantly chatting in Slack, and there was no connectivity back to Salesforce or things we were doing in Copado. So we were losing great conversations. We were not capturing what was happening in Slack, which was really rich and deep. But how do we give our teams the actions that they need to complete their workflows inside of Slack? Or if they want to work in Salesforce, how do they be more effective in seeing what's happening in the related Slack channel? So we're going to let them work where they want, and they're going to be more efficient with their time and not hunting and pecking for conversations, but yet having Copado actions in Slack. So for this demo, I'm going to show this user story we're working on. Like everyone's doing today, they're trying to embed GPT into their product. So we're working on this Windows 98 update for GPT. We got a team working on this skunkworks, and when I hit save, what's going to happen is we're going to automatically create a new Slack channel. We're going to invite the Skunkworks team to that channel, and we're going to give them the context and actions they need inside of Slack and link it back to this Salesforce record in Copado in this user story. So what's happened here on the Slack side is we've created a new channel. My team has been invited here. And we can see we have what here is called a record block. And we can see the user story details. We got some fields here that gives the team context, and we've got related lists, including user story tasks. So this is all customizable. If your team likes to see other data, you can completely customize this and have related items as well. So if we need to add a user story task, for example, we can do so right here from Slack and create that record from Slack, and then optionally post that detail to this thread. We're going to go ahead and keep this channel clean, so we'll dismiss that. But you can see here, now we've got this user story that has a task associated with it. If we want to inspect that task, we can see that related list item right here and work with it inside of Slack. So now we notice there's some details missing here. Let's go ahead and edit this record. And when we hit edit, we're going to show all the fields from our Copado user story form in the order they appear. So we'll go ahead and add the release, for example. And that will update our Salesforce record. And this one we will post to the thread. And we can see that update here in our record block. Okay, so those are some of the basics of just Salesforcing inside of Slack and keeping Copado records up to date. We can see we also have some actions here, like open pull requests. So that would normally be found here on the Copado record. To open up a new pull request, we can do that right from Slack. And these are, again, completely customizable to your workflow and what your team decides is most important. Okay, so we can now update our status here in real time. We can move this user story to in progress and go ahead and save that record, and we'll post that detail to the thread. And this is a live conversation back and forth with this record. So let's go ahead and open the record now, and we'll see a linked conversation here on this user story tied back to Slack. So what's nice here is this is a live back and forth that's happening, and we can see the whole channel history capturing every detail that the team was talking about. Like I was saying before, it's really handy to have for researching what happened with this particular story. So I can chat, and that's going to post a message to our channel in real time, and same from Slack. And we can see those updates in real time from Salesforce. So if we choose to live in Salesforce and have that conversation, great, we can do all that. All right, so now back into our user story. Let's say the QA team's now getting involved, and they want to upload a picture of what they're seeing. So they grab that screen cap. Looks like the GPT-4 has been successful in their testing. We're going to upload this to the Salesforce record. And this does update our user story and keeps that in our thread as well. So here, if we look back at our related lists, we can see that file has been uploaded. And captured, as well as in the Slack conversation itself. So good, looks like GPT-4 is working in Windows 98. And here's our image here. Okay, so now we're seeing all the updates happening in real time, both on the record level, back to Slack, and Slack back to Salesforce. Now, when we go ahead and let's say we close out this task, we want to clean up our Slack sidebar. We don't want a million user stories in our Slack. So naturally, when we close this and complete this task, user story, that's going to automatically archive the channel. You can see I've been already booted out of it, but we keep that historical record as an archived link conversation on the user story, so we can always refer back to it and see what happened. So that will load here in a second. You can see now this is now archived, but is completely viewable. And if we need to reopen it and get the team working on this again, we can. Okay, so all of this was done using native automation features. So we have Salesforce flow elements to do everything that you saw today, as well as Slack automation on getting things and triggering events inside of Slack. So a lot of robust functionality. So if you don't like the template we have for Copado, you can obviously update it and make it your own. And in summary, we've seen how we can automatically create channels, add users, automate the record creation and editing from Slack, as well as keeping the team up to date inside of Salesforce on the Copado records. And that is it for today.